Actually, a reason why Joe did not kill his black girlfriend. Spoilers if you didn't finish you. Saw a lot of people complain about Bronte being introduced to this story so late. There's been a sentiment, one that I share, that she got too many wins that maybe some of his older victims should have gotten. But as I sat down and thought about it, I realized that Joe had to be taken down by some new girl. And she had to be white. The thing about Joe, and I made a video about this, that he wants to push himself as this tolerant, liberal, feminist Romeo. In reality, he's a raging misogynist who enacts violence on anyone who challenges him. And I know it started off as a joke like, hey, Joe doesn't kill women of color. But if you really sit down and think about it, I think that there is a reason for that. Joe only turns on the women that he falls for. They stop fitting into the narrative that he created for them. If you take time to listen to what narrative he's building in his head, it's all shaped around helplessness. Women stuck into a life, honestly, of privilege when they're so much deeper than that. They have so much more to be than like this trophy. For Beck, he felt like she was this incredible writer who just wasn't as rich as her friends. Both Love and Kate, he saw women that he felt like were falling under the pressures of their family. Joe needs to be a savior. And I feel like he doesn't view the women of color that he interacts with be as helpless as he does these white women. For Karen Minty, he just let her go. He just stopped dating her. It was Love who killed Delilah. And although he did set out to kill Marianne, he was dissociating. You know what I'm saying? Also, she was the only one that he didn't go to violently kill. I feel like Joe low-key doesn't want to be perceived as racist, and that kind of fuels him not being violent towards these women of color. Versus these white women who he could perceive as these manic pixie dream girls. Never felt struggle. That's always something that he's talking about. He can self-rationalize the arguments that he's using with characters like Bronte on Marianne. And that's why a girl like her, guide and falling apart at the seams, perfect person to take him down. And that's also why it took Marianne to convince this girl what was going on. Because we've seen how easy it is for these white women to be complacent as long as the things that Joe was doing was not harming them. I think it's a poignant point on white feminism and how destructive it can be on everyone, including the women who are enacting it. Because at the end of the day, Joe was able to get away with things for as long as he could because of white women. It was also intentional for Bronte to be the face of America is going to listen to a tragedy that befell this poor white girl and even her friends who are women of color admits that she's the perfect victim. Even Joe knew how easy it would be to villainize a woman of color. He understands his privileges and the privileges that comes from dating white women. But tell me, what did you think? Let me know in my comments below.